My name's Luke. I've owned my own e-bike shop for about 4 years now. So in today's video, we're going to go over 4 different categories: quality of components, quality of the ride, price to performance, and customer service review. And just from a bike owner's perspective, what I think of these bikes. So let's get right into it. So first up, let's go over quality components. Now, as you can see, this bike comes with 26 by 4 inch tires with this brown wall and a reflective strip. We have an 8-speed rear Shimano cassette with a Shimano Altus derailleur, KMC chain, hydraulic brakes, a 750 watt hub motor made by Bafang. Got a 15 amp hour Samsung lithium-ion battery. This bike comes with a rear rack, integrated front and back lights. We also have front suspension, fenders, full color LCD display, electric horn, class 2, so it's a throttle. It has 5 levels of assist. Now this bike clocks in at just about 73 pounds, so it is a little bit heavier. It's a big bike, don't get me wrong, it's a massive bike. Another thing that I really love about this bike is the geometry of their frame. They have this nice, really low step through, which makes it compatible for pretty much any rider. A lot of people don't like the step throughs because they still have that stereotype of it's a woman's bike. But if you think about it, you're spending $2,000 on an e-bike. You're gonna have it for a long time. You're probably gonna have friends and family riding it too. So why wouldn't you just go with something that's a little bit easier to get on and off of, and overall more convenient? The bike's got a couple water bottle cage holders up here on the front of the frame. We have a fixed neck up top. It's still a pretty comfortable ride. Comfort, but also the potential to do some light trails as well. Get this seat off here. The seat's one of the best parts about this bike. It's just a massive plushy seat. On the rear wheel here, what's nice about these as well is that the motor wire comes out of the side rather than out of the nut. Makes it a little bit easier to maintenance and get off. Talking again about maintenancing, if you ever need to get into your controller, it sits right here in the bottom of your frame with easy access. You don't have to fish a bunch of wires and take battery and parts out. It's just 4 torque bolts. Let's go over some stuff up here. Pretty straightforward. We have a display, our Shimano 8-speed shifter. We got Tektro hydraulic disc brakes. I believe these are 180 mil rotors. We have your throttle, your remote. Pretty straightforward. You got your speed, level of assistance, battery life at the bottom. 5 levels of assist come factory on this bike. We also have our trip and odometer and our wattage output while we ride. Like most generic suspension, we have our lockouts and our preload setting. So for AIMA, I really do like their bikes. They are pretty easy to maintenance. It's pretty typical in the way that these tires drop out. The only thing that I can say negatively about these bikes, and something that we see a lot of times with any kind of 4-inch tire, is that the bead is so tight on these rims, sometimes it takes a lot of effort to get the actual tire off. So if you're gonna go with the 4-inch tire, not just AIMA, I highly recommend getting some big spoons, some big tire levers. These are gonna save you some headache. They can scratch up your rims, you just gotta be careful. All right, so like I said, we're gonna be looking at the Big Sur Sport as well, just because it's so similar. The only real difference here is the frame. Obviously, it's a lot smaller. The wheels are 20 by 4 rather than 26 by 4. And then the handlebars are more of a BMX style rather than your traditional handlebars. I'm going to give this bike a 3.5 out of 5 for quality of components. This is the kind of bike that you're gonna use as mostly for commuting purposes. Yes, you can take it on light trails. Yes, you can beat it up pretty good, but this is not a mountain bike. Let's get into the next one. All right, now before we go ride, there was one thing I forgot to mention. The Big Sur comes in a large and a medium frame size, while the Sport is a one-size-fits-all. I'm 6 feet roughly, and this is the large frame. Fits me pretty well. It's a pretty short reach. Again, this is a commuter bike, but overall it's comfortable, the seat's nice, so let's go ride. We're out here at one of my favorite trails here in Flagstaff. I like to use this trail to go test out my bikes because it has some pretty steep inclines up to 10%. This bike handles it no problem. I'm in pedal assist 4 in a lower gear, cruising up a 10% grade hill for 500 feet. All right, so overall, this bike rides really smooth. The torque sensor that they put on here is phenomenal for that price point. It's not too surgy, but it also has a lot of power. My one complaint that I'll say is that it's almost too much power. In level 1, we're putting out a lot of wattage. There is a way that you can adjust it, but you do need a Bosch tool to get into your display and change those settings. So that'd be my only complaint. Because this bike has so much power, it's almost too much power, which I guess isn't a bad thing. But if you're looking for more of an exercise, looking for more of a steady kind of pace, a steady kind of rise in power, you might consider that when you're buying this bike. It does have quite a bit of juice. Those hydraulic brakes, they're Tektro. Not a lot to say there. They're hydraulic brakes. They do pretty well. Again, a 73-pound bike. That's what I'd expect on something like this. Those 26 by 4-inch tires, you can actually lower the air pressure down a little bit and create more suspension. The front shocks aren't the best, but they'll get the job done. Again, this isn't a mountain bike, but if you're going off curbs and potholes, it's going to save you a lot of back pain. 5 levels of assist on this bike have a pretty good range of power for what you're looking for. You can climb pretty much any hill. The gear shifting's decently smooth. I wouldn't call it buttery by any means, but it's decent. What I really like about this bike is the throttle. If you like a lot of instant power, that throttle is there when you need it. It can get up and go really fast. Going full speed on this bike is also a lot of fun. You can get up to 28 miles an hour pretty easily. The lights are pretty visible at night. It's got a rear reflector, so high vis on the road. Overall, for ride quality, I'm gonna give this bike a 4 out of 5. Torque sensor, the comfort aspect, and the power that it has is phenomenal. For $2,000, that kind of power and smoothness is not something that you see every day. So that's why I'm going to give these guys a 4 out of 5 for ride quality. So let's talk about price to performance. Bikes are right now about $2,000. Very easy setup. They come out of the box with everything on them besides the front wheel, the front fender, the light, and the handlebars. Installation probably takes about 30 minutes if you don't have all the a nice hydraulic lift like we have in all of our tools. The box does come with some cool stuff. You got your manuals, charger, they give you a wrench, and they give you this nice 3-way tool, which has pretty much everything you need to install the bike. It also comes with a nice bungee cord that you can strap onto the back of your rack. Price and performance, pretty straightforward. It's basically what I think that the bike is worth. You know, all of these bikes are being made in China, and it doesn't mean that that's bad. Really what you want to look for again is that customer service. Do they have access to parts? Do you have people to talk to? I think going through AIMA and getting these bikes is definitely worth the $2,000. Again, you just get everything that you need right out the door. It's got enough power, it's comfortable, it's got all the lights. Other than that, this bike really has quite a bit that comes with it. These bikes are also torque sensing, which again, another bonus. It's a really smooth torque sensor integrated into the bracket. So for price and performance, I'm going to give these guys a 4 out of 5. I do think that they could come down a little bit. About $1,800 I think is what this bike is worth. In all aspects, honestly, $2,000 in this market for other bikes out there. Again, with the customer service, the quality of the components, the ride feel, everything that you get for this bike, I do think $2,000 is fair. So I got like these big windows right here, so everybody's just watching the film. So let's talk about customer service review. Again, we've been working with AIMA for a little over 1.5 years now, and they have grown a lot since we started working with them. We do have a direct representative who covers our store and takes good care of us, and they just announced a dealer portal for us, so that way we can order bikes online. Makes it a little bit easier. And I believe as of right now, they're only direct to business, B2B. I don't think they're doing direct to consumer. As a business owner, we love that. It's really hard to fight online prices when they're announcing discounts all the time. In terms of customer service, you can expect about a week to 2 weeks for getting parts if it's covered under warranty. They do have a phone line, and because they work directly to B2B, they're a lot more on top of staying connected with their dealers. So when you buy these bikes from your dealer, really what you're going to want to look for is making sure that your dealer has good communication skills, quality of your dealer rather more than the quality of the customer service from AIMA. That part is handled. Now the ball is in the court of your retailer. I really haven't had too much stuff go wrong with these AIMAs. They've been in my rental fleet again for about over a year. Some of my bikes are creeping upwards of 2,000 miles. We've had to replace some tires, but overall, we've only ever had to replace one torque sensor. It took about a week to get here. Pretty easy installation. Great customer service. They have some videos that they send us to help us out, or they even sent me tools to replace the torque sensor, all for pretty much nothing. Again, as a dealer, I absolutely love that. Haven't had any qualms with them so far. So for that reason, I'm going to give them a 4.5 out of 5 in terms of customer service. All right, so all in all, the AIMA Big Sur and technically the Big Sur Sport, these guys get a 4 out of 5 in total review. If you're looking for a nice commuter, something to do some light trails, maybe some gravel, maybe a little bit of mountain biking, this is a great overall option, especially at a $2,000 price point. For the torque, the power, components that you get, it's pretty tough to beat. So again, this video is not sponsored by AIMA. It's just a brand that we carry and that we like, and that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. It helps out our business a ton, and we'll keep doing these on more bikes. If there's another bike that you want me to review, leave it in the comments below and we'll get to it in another video. Thanks.